Her body moved before the moment even began. A sharp, decisive shift cut through her frame, not a twitch, not a reaction, but a command executed with absolute certainty. Her right arm snapped upward with mechanical precision, fingers locking into a shape she had never made, a shape that didn't belong to anything human. Her head followed instantly, a clean, exact turn, not to see, not to understand, but to align, like her gaze had been calibrated for a purpose she would never know. Her eyes fixed on a point she couldn't register, steady and unblinking, as if they were no longer organs but instruments. Her legs advanced, not stepping, not walking, advancing. A single, controlled movement carried her forward, her weight shifting with perfect balance, her posture tightening into a stance that felt like a continuation of something she hadn't witnessed. Her shoulders squared, her spine locked, her jaw held that rigid, silent shape that didn't belong to her anymore. Her breath didn't return, her chest didn't even try. Her arms adjusted again, a small, precise correction, like her body was fine-tuning itself for whatever came next. Her fingers flexed once, not in hesitation, but in calibration, as if testing the limits of a body that no longer had any say in how it moved. There was no pause, no hesitation, no trace of her. Her body was already in motion, already following a purpose that didn't involve her, already acting with the cold, deliberate certainty of something that had replaced her completely. The thing inside her didn't announce itself. It didn't need to. It was already using her. Her body didn't slow after the first movement. It accelerated. A sudden, decisive force rolled through her frame, snapping her left arm into a new position with the same mechanical certainty that had erased her. Her fingers locked into a rigid shape, each joint tightening like they were being set into place by something that didn't need her awareness to operate her. Her head shifted again, a sharp, exact tilt, not searching, not reacting, but tracking, like her gaze had been assigned to follow something she couldn't see. Her eyes didn't blink. They didn't need to. They held steady, fixed, obedient. Her legs advanced, not a step, not a walk, a directive. Her body moved forward with a precision that felt engineered, her weight shifting in perfect balance, her posture tightening into a stance that looked like preparation for something she wasn't part of. Her shoulders rolled back with a smooth, practiced motion, her spine locked into a straight, controlled line. Her breath didn't return, her chest didn't even try. Her right hand lifted again, higher this time, sharper, more deliberate, like the thing inside her was adjusting her range, testing the limits of a body that no longer had any say in how it moved. Her fingers flexed once, not in hesitation, but in confirmation. Her body wasn't responding to anything. It was following through. Every motion was clean, every shift was intentional, every part of her was being used with the cold efficiency of something that had replaced her completely. There was no trace of her left, just the thing inside her, and the body it now controlled. Her body didn't adjust. It committed. A sudden, forceful motion snapped through her right arm, not a correction, not a test, but a decision executed with absolute certainty. Her fingers tightened into a rigid configuration, each joint locking into place like they were being set by something that understood her anatomy better than she ever had. Her head followed instantly. A clean, exact shift, not to look, not to understand, but to fix her gaze on a point she couldn't perceive. Her eyes held steady, unblinking, as if blinking was no longer part of the body's design. Her legs advanced again, not stepping, not walking, advancing with purpose. Her weight shifted forward in a single, controlled motion, her posture tightening into a stance that felt like the midpoint of a sequence she wasn't part of. Her shoulders rolled back with mechanical precision, her spine locked into a straight, unyielding line. Her breath didn't return, her chest didn't even try. Her left hand lifted next, sharp, deliberate, perfectly synchronized with the right. Her arms held steady, balanced, as if bracing for the next phase of something she would never witness. There was no hesitation, no trace of her, no pause between motions. Her body wasn't reacting, it was executing. Every movement was clean, every shift was intentional, every part of her was being used with the cold efficiency of something that had replaced her completely. The thing inside her didn't announce itself. It didn't need to, it was already in full control. Her body didn't wait for the next motion. It snapped into it. A violent, decisive force tore through her right arm, jerking it into a new position with a precision that felt engineered, not organic. Her fingers locked into a rigid configuration, each joint tightening like they were being ratcheted into place by something that didn't care about the limits of flesh. Her head followed instantly, a sharp, unnatural turn, too fast, too exact, too controlled, like her neck was being operated by something that understood leverage better than she ever could. Her eyes fixed on a point she couldn't perceive, unblinking, unresponsive, obedient. Her legs advanced again, not stepping, not walking, driving forward. Her weight slammed into the next position with mechanical certainty, her posture tightening into a stance that felt like the midpoint of a sequence she wasn't part of. Her shoulders rolled back with a cold, practiced motion, her spine locked into a straight, unyielding line. Her breath didn't return. Her chest didn't even try. Her left hand rose sharply, higher, harder, more deliberate, mirroring the right with perfect, unnatural symmetry. Her arms held steady, balanced, braced, like her body was preparing for an action she would never witness. There was no hesitation, no trace of her, no softness between movements. Her body wasn't reacting, it was executing with force. Every motion was clean, every shift was intentional, every part of her was being used with the cold brutality of something that had replaced her completely. The thing inside her didn't slow down. It didn't need to. It had full control, and it was done pretending otherwise. Her body didn't move first, the pressure inside her did. A deep, crushing force pressed outward from her ribs, like something beneath her skin was expanding, testing the limits of the space it had taken. Her shoulders tightened on their own, pulled back by an invisible weight that didn't care about her comfort or her limits. Her arms lifted slowly, not with mechanical precision but with the awful inevitability of something growing, pushing, claiming room inside her. Her breath stayed absent, her presence stayed gone. Her body wasn't acting, it was being filled. Her eyes didn't blink, but they reacted. A flicker of motion passed across her vision, not from the world around her but from inside her own sight. Shapes she couldn't name slid across the edges of her perception, as if her senses were being overwritten one by one. Her head tilted sharply, not toward anything real, but toward something only the thing inside her could see. Her body wasn't perceiving, it was receiving instructions. Her body didn't advance this time. It stopped, every muscle locked at once, freezing her mid-motion like she'd been caught in a frame of film. Her arms hung suspended, her spine rigid, her jaw clenched in a shape she didn't choose. The stillness wasn't calm, it was held, as if something inside her was deciding what to do with her next. The air around her shifted. Not wind, not movement, attention. The space seemed to tighten around her body, as if the room itself recognized the thing inside her and recoiled. Shadows bent slightly toward her, not moving, but leaning, acknowledging the presence that had taken her. Her body didn't react. It didn't need to. The environment was reacting to her. Her body moved, but she didn't witness it. One moment she was frozen. The next, she was several steps forward, arms in a new position, head angled towards something she hadn't seen. There was no transition, no motion, just missing time, replaced by the certainty that her body had acted without her. The thing inside her wasn't just controlling her, it was skipping her. A shadow near her foot shifted, not cast, not caused, not hers. It stretched upward, thin and deliberate, mirroring the angle of her arm a moment before she moved it. Her body followed the shadow's lead, not the other way around. Her limbs weren't responding to commands. They were echoing something else's motion. Her weight shifted backward, farther than balance should allow. Her heels lifted, her spine arched, her center of gravity tilted into a position no human body should hold. But she didn't fall, she didn't wobble. Her body held the impossible angle with perfect, unnatural steadiness, as if gravity no longer applied to her the way it used to. She wasn't balancing, she was being balanced. Her head turned, not from force, but from obedience. A silent impulse pulsed through her, not sound, not thought, but something that felt like a command delivered directly into the hollow where her will used to be. Her body responded instantly, without hesitation, without question. She wasn't resisting, she wasn't present, she was being instructed. Her arms lifted, not in sync, not symmetrical. One rose slowly, the other sharply, as if the thing inside her was adjusting her piece by piece, testing angles, correcting posture, shaping her into something it needed. Her joints didn't protest, her muscles didn't resist, her body wasn't moving, it was being arranged. The presence inside her tightened, not physically, but absolutely. A cold, final certainty settled through her limbs, her spine, her jaw. Her body no longer felt like a vessel being used. It felt like a system that had been overwritten. Her movements weren't forced, they weren't commanded, they were automatic, as if the thing inside her had replaced every instinct she ever had. There was no trace of her left, only the thing, and the body it now operated without restraint. Her body didn't just move, it shifted on multiple levels at once, as if the thing inside her had decided it no longer needed to hide the full extent of its control. A cold ripple passed through her limbs, not a shiver, not a tremor, but a signal, traveling from the base of her spine outward like a command being broadcast through every nerve. Her shoulders tightened first, pulled back by an unseen force that didn't care about balance or comfort. Her arms followed, rising slowly, deliberately, as if lifted by strings threaded through her joints. But the movement wasn't singular. It layered, her head turned in one direction, her torso angled in another, her legs braced in a third. Each part of her body obeyed a different instruction, a different rhythm, a different purpose, yet all of it aligned into a single, unnatural posture that no human instinct could have produced. The air around her reacted again. Not shrinking this time, not recoiling, observing. The space felt aware of her, as if the presence inside her had expanded beyond her body and pressed outward, filling the room with a quiet, suffocating attention. Shadows didn't move, but they felt closer. The silence didn't deepen, but it felt heavier. Her vision flickered. Not darkness, not light, interference. Shapes she couldn't name slid across her sight, not in front of her eyes but behind them, like her perception was being overwritten frame by frame. Her pupils didn't adjust. Her eyelids didn't blink. Her gaze stayed fixed, held open by something that didn't need her cooperation. Her breath stayed absent. Her presence stayed gone. Her body wasn't acting. It wasn't reacting. It wasn't resisting. It was being operated, like a system with every function rerouted, every instinct replaced, every boundary erased. The thing inside her didn't hesitate. It didn't pause. It didn't consider. It simply expanded, taking more of her, using more of her, shaping more of her into whatever it needed next. And her body followed, because there was nothing left inside it to do anything else. Her body didn't settle after the last shift. It fractured into motion, not physically, but in the way her control splintered into separate channels. Different parts of her responded to different impulses, none of them aligned, none of them human. Her right hand rose slowly, fingers unfurling with a strange, ceremonial precision, as if following a pattern she'd never learned. Her left hand jerked sharply downward, pulled by a force that didn't match the rhythm of the first. Her shoulders tightened in opposite directions, one drawing back, the other pushing forward, creating a posture that felt like two different intentions fighting for dominance inside her. Her spine didn't bend, it segmented, each vertebra responding to a different command. Some arched, some straightened, some held perfectly still. Her head tilted, not toward anything in the room, but toward something that felt like it was above her, watching her from a height she couldn't perceive. Her jaw tightened, then loosened, then tightened again, as if the thing inside her was testing the limits of expression, deciding what shape her face should hold. The air around her shifted again. Not reacting, not observing, synchronizing. The space felt like it was aligning with her movements, adjusting itself to match the unnatural angles of her body. Shadows stretched and compressed in silent rhythm, not moving on their own but responding to the invisible choreography being executed through her. Her vision flickered again, but this time, it didn't distort. It split. Two separate images overlapped in her sight, the room as it was, and the room as the thing inside her perceived it. One real, one impossible. Her body followed the impossible one. Her legs moved next, each stepping in a different direction, one forward, one sideways, yet her balance didn't break. Her weight shifted with unnatural precision, as if gravity itself had been reprogrammed to accommodate her. Her breath stayed absent. Her presence stayed gone. Her body wasn't being controlled by one force anymore. It was responding to many, each one pulling, shaping, adjusting, claiming a different part of her. And none of them needed her. Her body didn't move first. The room did. The floor beneath her seemed to tilt a fraction of a degree, not enough to throw her off balance, but enough to make the world feel misaligned. The walls stretched subtly outward, as if the space itself was adjusting to accommodate something larger than her body, something that no longer fit neatly inside her skin. Her posture shifted in response, not from force but from alignment, like her limbs were syncing with a geometry she couldn't see. Her right arm lifted at an angle that didn't match the room's orientation. Her left arm followed a moment later, rising toward a point that didn't exist in the physical space around her. Her head turned next, not toward a sound, not toward a presence, but toward a direction that felt wrong, like she was looking into a corner that had quietly changed shape. Her vision flickered again. This time, the two overlapping images didn't just coexist, they competed. The real room, the impossible room, both occupying the same space, both demanding her attention, both insisting they were the correct version of reality. Her body chose the impossible one. Her legs stepped forward, but the floor met her foot a fraction of a second too early, as if the distance between her and the ground had shifted. Her balance didn't break. Her posture didn't falter. Her body adjusted instantly, seamlessly, as if the thing inside her had already accounted for the distortion. The air thickened around her, not with weight, not with heat, with presence, a pressure that didn't touch her skin but pressed against the edges of the room, reshaping the space to match the thing's perception rather than hers. Shadows stretched in unnatural directions, not toward or away from her, but toward the angles her body now occupied. Her breath stayed absent. Her presence stayed gone. Her body wasn't navigating the room. The room was navigating her, shifting, bending, adjusting itself to the shape of the thing that had taken her. And she followed without hesitation, without awareness, without resistance. Because there was nothing left inside her to do anything else. Her body didn't move first. Her senses did. The sound in the room dropped out all at once, not fading, not dimming, but cut, like someone had severed the audio track of her world. Her ears still existed, but they weren't receiving anything. The silence wasn't empty. It was absolute, a vacuum where sound should have been. Her vision followed. Not darkness, not blur, disassembly. The edges of objects began to separate from their shapes, peeling away like thin layers of light. The room didn't distort, it unraveled, each surface losing its solidity, each shadow losing its anchor, each line drifting a fraction of an inch away from where it belonged. Her body didn't react to any of it. It stood perfectly still, perfectly aligned, perfectly obedient, as if the thing inside her had disconnected her senses from her physical form entirely. Then the floor shifted, not physically, but perceptually. Her eyes told her she was standing on a flat surface. Her body told her she was leaning forward. Her balance told her she was falling backward. Her inner ear told her she wasn't moving at all. Every system contradicted the others, each one hijacked by a different signal, each one insisting on a different version of reality. Her body didn't hesitate. It chose none of them. It moved according to a reality she couldn't perceive, a reality only the thing inside her could see. Her right foot stepped into a space that didn't exist in her vision. Her left arm lifted toward a point that wasn't present in the room she thought she was in. Her spine twisted slightly, aligning with an angle that belonged to a geometry she couldn't comprehend. Her breath stayed absent. Her presence stayed gone. Her senses weren't failing. They were being replaced, one by one, overwritten by the perception of the thing that had taken her. And her body followed that perception with perfect, merciless certainty. Because whatever she used to be, whatever she used to feel, whatever she used to sense, none of it mattered anymore. The thing inside her didn't need her senses. It had its own. Her body didn't move first. The world folded around her. A thin, silent ripple passed through the room, not wind, not vibration, but a shift in the shape of the space itself. The corners of the room stretched outward, then outward again, like the geometry was breathing in a rhythm she couldn't feel. Her body reacted instantly, not to the room she was in, but to the other one pressing against it. Her right arm lifted toward a point that didn't exist in the visible space. Her left arm angled downward, aligning with a floor that wasn't the one beneath her feet. Her spine twisted slightly, adjusting to a gravitational pull that didn't belong to this dimension. Her vision flickered again. This time, the two overlapping rooms didn't compete. They merged. The real room, the impossible room, layered perfectly over each other, each surface occupying the same space, each shadow belonging to two different sources at once. Her body chose the impossible one. Her leg stepped forward, but her foot landed on a surface that wasn't visible, a plane that existed only in the overlapping geometry. Her balance didn't falter, her posture didn't break, her body moved with absolute certainty, guided by a reality she couldn't see. The air thickened again, not with presence, not with pressure, with structure. Invisible lines formed around her, faint impressions of walls and angles that didn't match the room she was in. Her body aligned with them, adjusting her posture to fit the architecture of a place that wasn't supposed to exist. Her breath stayed absent, her presence stayed gone, her senses weren't failing, her perception wasn't distorting, reality itself was doubling, and her body was obeying the version controlled by the thing inside her. Her head tilted sharply, aligning with a doorway that wasn't in the real room. Her arms lifted into a posture that matched the angles of a space only the presence could perceive. Her spine straightened, adjusting to a vertical axis that didn't match the gravity of this world. She wasn't moving through the room. She was moving through both, guided by something that existed in neither. And her body followed with perfect, merciless certainty, because whatever had taken her, whatever had overwritten her, whatever was using her, it wasn't bound to one reality. And now, neither was she. The air around her recoiled. A subtle shift rippled through the room, not a breeze, not a vibration, something quieter, deeper, like the atmosphere itself had flinched. The temperature didn't drop, but the space felt colder, as if the warmth in the room had stepped back to make room for something else. Her posture changed in response. Not sharply, not violently, deliberately. Her spine straightened with slow, inevitable precision, each vertebra aligning as though pulled into place by a force that understood her structure better than she ever had. Her arms rose next, not in sync, not symmetrical, but in a pattern that felt purposeful, a shape being formed, not a gesture being made. Then the pressure shifted, not inside her, not around her, through her. A faint distortion shimmered at the edges of her silhouette, subtle enough to miss if you weren't looking directly at her. The outline of her body wavered, not like heat, not like shadow, like something beneath her skin was pressing outward, testing the boundary between her and the world. Her head tilted slowly, aligning with a point that didn't exist in the visible room. Her jaw tightened, then loosened, then tightened again, as if the presence inside her was adjusting the shape of her expression, deciding what face it wanted her to wear. The distortion grew, not brighter, not louder, clearer, a faint impression, not a form, not a figure, but an intention, extended from her, brushing against the air like a hand feeling its way through a doorway. The room reacted instantly, shadows leaned away, light bent slightly around her. The space itself seemed to shift to avoid contact. Her body didn't resist, her body didn't respond. Her body yielded, opening itself to the presence that had taken her, allowing it to stretch, expand, reach. Her breath stayed absent, her presence stayed gone. She wasn't being controlled anymore. She was being used as a threshold, a point of contact between the world she once belonged to and the one the presence came from. The distortion pulsed once, a quiet, deliberate ripple through the air. Then her body stilled, not empty, not reclaimed, occupied, and whatever had taken her, whatever had overwritten her, whatever had been shaping her from the inside out, was no longer contained by her. It was here,